At our last meeting, not the last regular meeting, we heard a lot of talk about traffic and safety measures at Rancho Rosal School. And I would like to have staff come and take a good look at everything we have set up there, the crossing guard, see if the crossing guard and the crosswalk are in the appropriate place, and see if there's anything that can be done to make that situation better. I understand it's mainly in the morning and then in the afternoon again. The whole total isn't, but it is children, and I would like to see if staff can figure out if there's a better way to manage all that. And then the last thing I have is, since our last regular meeting, I accompanied my children's museum specialist on 2 visits to
Trevor?
to the Kids Space Museum. I mean, I only go along. He drags me all over the place when we get there. And I have to tell you, in his estimate, we spent, usually museums are 2-hour places, and then he wants to go get a grilled cheese sandwich. After 5.5 hours, both times at this place, I had to drag him out and tell him that we were going to have terrible traffic on the way home, and it would take 2 hours to get home. I have some pictures if anybody's interested in seeing what it's really like. And in his estimation, this place is as good as the Boston Children's Museum. So, anyway, that's what I've done since we met last.
Someday we'll have our own.
Maybe.
I will start off with a comment I had also regarding the Rancho Rosal School. I had the same thing in mind. I'd also like to see if maybe what we need to do is add another crossing guard, if indeed that one crossing guard can't keep up with the 4 pieces going around in circles. So add that to that same thing. And speaking of the last meeting where we did hear so many comments, someone came up about 2 o'clock in the morning and showed on her iPhone that our website had posted that the appeal had already been denied. Did anybody research that to find out if indeed that had occurred, and if it had, why? Were we hacked by the Russians?
No, I believe she was looking at the agenda report that was posted the Friday before, and it had the draft resolution, but there's no vote
Which wasn't
on it.
signed.
Which wasn't
But how did it
signed,
say
no vote.
that the appeal was denied? Because it wouldn't have been
The
denied.
recommendation.
The
was-
recommended
recommendation
action
only.
was to adopt a resolution denying the
That's all.
appeal.
Well, that's sure not what she saw or thinks she saw.
But that's what the
Madam Mayor, may I comment? Now, I went back and looked at that, and it was just the draft resolution. It was a form of resolution that is typical for most matters that are in front of the council. If the council had decided to grant the appeal, that resolution would not have been passed. It contained the findings that were necessary relative to a denial of the appeal, but it clearly was in draft form.
That could be, so it wasn't so much, it was because the suggested motion from staff was to deny it, therefore the resolution reflected denying it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to all of them. And I will pass